Transcription number 234 at the rate 90 word per minute. Get ready? Start. Mr. Deputy Chairman, sir, the bill before the House is for the abolition of two-member constituencies and for setting up single-member constituencies. In other words, the present double-member constituencies are proposed to be bifurcated as single-member constituencies with reservation of seats or constituencies for the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Now, sir, a very crucial moment in the history of our young democracy has come. Where from has this reservation arisen? Is not reservation repugnant to the very principle of democracy? Still, we have reconciled ourselves to this reservation. A reservation might be in any form, it might be in the form of constituencies, it might be for the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. It is a fact of history that in our society there are people who are called weaker sections and they go by the name of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. I do not know whose fault it is, but anyway, in our society, we find a section of people who are said to be weak. Certainly, they are weak. Their cases deserve to be considered and should be given topmost priority, but there is a lot of misapprehension when we talk of reservation of seats. Is a single member of the Harijan community or scheduled caste going to solve the problem of the entire Harijan population? Self reliance, self respect, and things like that are talked of. How do they come? Will they come only by making a single man a member of the assembly or parliament? Will that give self respect to the entire community? On the other hand, I would believe that self respect, self reliance, or self confidence, whatever you call it, can come more by education, more by economic upliftment, more by separate of culture, more by mingling with other classes of people, and these are the measures that are called for at present in order to uplift the weaker sections of the people. Anyway, they are there. Millions of rupees are spent on the uplift of these people, and I am sure never before in the industry of this country such a lot of good to these people was done as is being done within these 20 or 30 years of our independence. I am sure all these differences would disappear and India will emerge as a cohesive nation. But in the meanwhile, something has to be done. Then it was thought that it was the best arrangement that could be thought of, and it was then thought that at the end of 10 years this reservation would be done away with and there would be only fulfilled democracy functioning. Now At the end of 10 years, we have come to the conclusion that instead of these double member constituencies, we shall have to set up single member constituencies with reservation of seats for the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. I should think that it is a great retrograde step that we have taken. It is not an advance that we are making in our democratic setup. I am sure that this ha- has happened on account of the pressure of certain sections of the people who day and night harp on self-reliance, self-respect, etc. Now let us consider if this system that is being thought of by this bill is going to create any vested interests. Let us also consider if the spread of segregation will be created by the step that we have taken. These are the negative aspects of the step that we are now proposing. If vested interests are going to be created, if a spirit of separatism is going to be created in this country, if perpetuation of segregation is to take place, let us reject this bill here and now. We have paid very heavy cost in the name of reservation of seats. Our country was divided. Had it not been for this principle that was introduced, however, unwittingly, our country would not have been divided today. Having found that position, let us be careful of what we do now. Now, who in this world will give up an advantage gained, whether rightfully or wrongfully gained? We have seen it in the nature of man not to give up a right that he was earned. On the other hand, he wants to perpetuate it. Then, as the lady member said, who knows that will happen after 10 years? Of course, now there are being proceeds that after the end of 10 years they are going to do away with the single member constituencies with reservation of single member constituencies of seats. But who can predict the future? Will the same scheduled caste Britain not insist on their rights to have a separate vote and a separate constituency? What guarantee is there? Why do you introduce this maladies into our system? So I would utter a very respectful, mild warning here that we do today might do a great mischief tomorrow. What matters most is our attitude to the weaker sections of the community. Stop.